We are continuing to follow the latest out of Spain, where police say they've arrested a fourth suspect in yesterday's terror attacks. At least 14 people were killed in Barcelona and more than 100 injured, including one American. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. One woman died from her injuries overnight in the seaside town of Cambrils. Authorities confirmed that 5 suspects were killed in a shootout with police in the area. CBS News security analyst Fran Townsend was Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Advisor to President George W. Bush, and she joins me now. Fran, so this story has been developing very, very quickly since the news of the first attack broke. What are authorities in Spain looking for at this point?
Well, we know that the van driver is still at large, and so we should regard this as an ongoing security operation. And, you know, the public understood the attack from the time of the car ramming in Barcelona, but this attack really started the day before in Alcanar when there was a gas explosion at a residence. Authorities now believe that the cell was looking to have the car explode instead of doing a ramming. When that failed, they did the ramming because they probably panicked. They thought they had the existence of the cell had been revealed. Then, of course, overnight we learned that in Cambril there's another car ramming, and authorities kill 5 individuals who were wearing suicide vests. So this was a more sophisticated, more well-planned operation that was probably intended to be a more spectacular event, and if they had been successful, would have been.
So what you're saying is that for a lot of people who saw this, when they saw the news breaking yesterday, they thought, oh, just another guy inspired perhaps by the Islamic State decides to use his vehicle as a weapon. What you're saying is that the signs point to a sophisticated operation that was planned for a very long time.
That's right, and these individuals were probably in Spain planning this for some period of time prior to the events that became public yesterday. That's right.
Why Spain? Because it hasn't been, and this is not to diminish what happened there, but for the last couple of years, it's been France, it's been Belgium, it's been Germany,
that's right.
It's been Great Britain, and Spain. Although they had a spectacular attack, a horrific attack back in 2004, where over 190 people were killed, right. It's been relatively quiet. There have been some little incidents, but nothing like this.
Well, between 2013 and 2016, what people don't realize is Spanish authorities have arrested 178 terrorists, according to West Point.
Wow.
And so they know that they've had an ongoing problem. Of course, they're very close to North Africa, and there's this conflict, this Islamist conflict between Mali and Mauritania. And so there has been a flow of extremists from North Africa across the Strait of Gibraltar into Spain. Many move on. But I think the Spanish authorities have understood to be very careful and to monitor this problem, and probably didn't realize the cell's existence until this began to unfold yesterday.
Looking ahead, how will this play out with the discussions that many are having here in the United States and abroad about refugees, about allowing people from certain countries beyond their borders? Europe it's much more difficult in Europe because of the open borders situation that they have there. How do you see it affecting that discussion? I know a lot of Europeans have said, look, despite these attacks, we still want to hold truth to our values, which is to allow people who are suffering to come to us. But there is a risk. There is a risk.
And what you hope, Vlad, is that we'll wait to understand the nationalities and who the members of the cell are, right? We've got 5 dead, 3 are alive and in custody, likely cooperating, which helped lead authorities to the Cambril group. Look, among the 178 I referred to earlier, 40% of those were Spaniards, 40% were Moroccans, and so I think we need to wait and see before we make any sort of cast aspersions on refugees about what was the composition of this cell and where did they come from.
And finally, I guess this is still, because this is still an ongoing operation, could we see, in other words, we know that the driver of the vehicle is still out there.
That's right.
Perhaps being helped by other compatriots that may have helped him perpetrate this act.
That's right. And look, there was also the ramming in Barcelona of a police checkpoint yesterday. We don't know if that was also related to this. And so you could see other vehicle rammings. We ought to understand that because it's ongoing, we may see other attempted attacks, or in Spain.
Last question, I guess, and I just thought of this. People are now saying maybe some of these beautiful touristy spots around the world should have barricades, or should not be. We should not allow vehicles to at least be in the general vicinity. Is that even possible?
Yeah, well, so look, we know here in New York and Times Square, we've restricted vehicle traffic. You know, it wasn't that long ago when the French took this effort around the Eiffel Tower, and people said, but why? And I think more and more you're going to see large tourist areas that are sort of both vehicle and pedestrian be restricted and not allow vehicular traffic for this reason. It's what they did in London Bridge. They put up barriers after the attack. I think more and more you're going to see this. It's unfortunate, but it's the new reality.
Fran Townsend, always great to have your analysis. We appreciate it.
Thank you.